We are thrilled that we are celebrating the opening of the new CDI Providence Tarzana Medical Center Child Development Center, co-located on the campus with the hospital. This is a dream come true. This is something that we have been working to create for many years.
We have a real problem within our community of taking care of children in the early stages of their development prior to starting school. Many of these children don't get the appropriate attention, don't get the appropriate needs addressed prior to school, prior to when they start school, so they're behind.
So when AJ was born at 23 weeks, it was by far the scariest thing. We didn't know if he would make it.
When Malcolm was in the NICU, it was terrifying. He's our first baby. We don't know what's going on. We don't know exactly what's wrong with him. We don't know how long he'll be in the NICU. It was so scary, we felt totally helpless.
So the typical baby will be premature, probably requiring some form of respiratory support, some form of nutrition other than by mouth, so getting intravenous fluids, and just needing very close observation.
His first few days in the hospital or in the NICU were rough because it was always, he may not make it till tomorrow, he may not make it to a couple of days, he may not make it to the end of the week.
And a big part of our job is the parents. The parents are our patients too. So working with the parents and teaching them and helping them understand their baby's special needs.
The first few years of a child's life are going to have a decisive impact on how that baby's brain is wired and ultimately affect their life outcomes for the rest of their lives. We are very fortunate to have an outstanding neonatal intensive care unit at Providence because those babies are going to get the specialized care with their parents right with them so they can shift that balance back so those babies will survive and they will be ready to go from hospital to home with their parents and then start dealing with all the things babies have to deal with and parents have to deal with.
The day that Malcolm got to go home was very exciting and terrifying at the same time.
When we first took AJ home, we went about a full month with no real sleep. Maybe cat naps in between, but no real sleep for about the first month.
It took us a while to finally breathe and say, okay, we are home. We're all home together.
Having him at home was great because I could hold him close. I could look at him when I fed him. He looked at me. See him smile. I mean, those things were just amazing.
From the hospital, they did refer us to CDI.
We were like, what is that? What's early intervention? What does that mean?
I think this partnership is really important and a great step for CDI because we're able to reach these families at the first step of coming into early intervention services. They've already been with their hospital staff and they've been stabilized so that they're able to come home, and now they're on the next step of their journey to come to CDI and get services provided to them where they can receive child development, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, mental health support if they need it.
I realized it was therapy for him and for me because they were teaching him how to talk and they were teaching me how to teach him how to talk. So that was really unique and cool to learn.
There's so much fear and anxiety and unknown that happens when your child is in the NICU, and even coming out of the NICU, you've received so much support and now you're sent home on your own and you have to create a whole new group of therapists and a whole new group of trust.
So when we can intervene early, well, there's two things that happen. One is we can help the parents to recognize and support development so it goes back on track. The other is that when babies are born with special needs, we can anticipate where those challenges are going to be so that we actually are not only balancing that scale, but we just pack on the positive side. So we're going to tip the scale in the other direction so that that child and that family has a lot of confidence and a lot of resources and a lot of tools to deal with those challenges as they come up.
Set, go!
CDI gives me a lot of confidence as a parent because I've seen Malcolm improve so much. Not just his speech, but his interaction with other kids and just people in general. He's very social.
When we first started therapy with Lisa, he would just lay there. He didn't really interact, especially when it came to feeding. It's a big difference from where we started till now. It's really nice to finally interact with our son.
I think AJ has a lot of potential. He's very, very interactive, very smart. I don't know what quite he's gonna go for, but I know whatever it is, he's gonna achieve it, because once he wants something, he makes sure he gets it.
Yeah.
I think an important part of our approach is that CDI is an interdisciplinary model, and we really support each other as a team with our clients. So the family feels very supported because we are meeting outside of sessions to better treatment plan for the child and for the parents and make sure that we're all on the same page together.
I'm very appreciative of Joan Maltese and all of her efforts. She is a person that brings people together. And through her stick-to-itiveness, through her just desire to make a difference for these children and their families, that's why this relationship happened.
Oh yeah, I'd be completely lost without CDI. I mean, it's just insane how wonderful it is to the community. It's given me so much confidence. It's letting me know it's okay. Malcolm's gotten so much better and I'm so happy. Sorry, it's just overwhelming. Just the thought of not coming into CDI ever, not ever meeting the therapist.
If we don't recognize that certain children and families are very vulnerable and we leave them in harm's way, we all suffer. We have so many more problems in our community. We have higher special education. We have higher crime. We have just kids who get into more trouble and parents who are more stressed. We have parents who are missing work. There are, all of those ramifications. So it's, very important to have loving parents, but they can't do everything themselves, and sometimes life is hard and they need help.
I've been lucky enough, since I've been in the field for so long, to meet kids that are all grown up and are adults and off to college. So, and they started out at 1 pound. So it's amazing. What I want to say is it's amazing. It's just amazing what these babies go through and what they're capable of, and what we're able to do to help them.
But we need to make sure that we find those little tiny babies and we give them everything they need. They're the ones who we really don't want to miss. They're the ones who, when we find them, they will thrive. That's the miracle.